I watched season 7's media rounds, so you don't have to. So this week I watched Andreina. She was on Speedy's live. I enjoyed myself. What a breath of fresh air, and her personality on Speedy's podcast or his live. He needs to do a. He does have a YouTube channel. Anyway, enough about Speedy. This is about me. Okay, so Andreina was amazing on Speedy's live. Like, all of her personality, we could see why she got casting. Boring, she is not. And I knew that because I was following Andreina while she was in the villa and like watching her videos and stuff. I was in there supporting the girl. I was in the comments going hard on her. I mean, going hard to support her because I thought that Huda hate train, I knew it was edited down because they showed Huda and her talking, and then she went right downstairs and talked to Shelly. Ain't no way she can move that fast. So I already knew it was edited down, and she explained that whole clip. So I'll just explain that to you guys first because I know that's what you guys are really here for. Want to know about the tea? Clock that. So essentially what she said about that particular situation is her and Huda had a 20-minute conversation. And she said, actually, Huda pulled her after because this was in relation to the heart rate challenge. So after the heart rate challenge, Huda pulls her. In that moment, she was going to go check on Shelly because Shelly is her closest friend. So everybody noticed in the challenge, Shelly was visibly upset about how Huda behaved in that challenge because Andreina said that Huda took it way overboard. Prior to, and this is what I got from I watched another one, which we'll talk about that one next. Chris was on the Vow Files. He talked about how everyone talked about raise their hands based on what was appropriate and not appropriate. According to him, everybody said everything was copacetic and okay. But according to Andreina, she said that even within that context, Huda just took it too far. So with that in mind, everybody was looking at Shelly. All the girls were looking at Shelly because she was visibly upset. Afterwards, they all ran over to talk to Shelly. In that moment, Huda grabs her and Amaya, takes them upstairs to explain her side of the situation. They talked for 20 minutes and we saw 1 minute of the conversation. That conversation, Andreina said, and she said she's going to be pulling receipts in the reunion as well. We talked about receipts in the last post that I did with the Nicolandria situation. They're going to be pulling receipts. And Andreina said the same thing. She's going to ask production to pull receipts on this moment because she said to Huda what you did was wrong, but they didn't show that. They only showed what Huda said. She went downstairs and reiterated that to Shelly, which made her seem like the bad guy. But she said everything that she said to Shelly, she had said to Huda. And so it was like misinterpreted and misconstrued and just edited down to make her look like she was a liar, wasn't telling the truth, and she wasn't a girl's girl. In all actuality, she gave Huda a piece of her mind in that moment, but they just didn't air it. So that's all she said about that situation. She did talk about, cleared up the Jeremiah love bombing speculation that she said on the show when Ace asked, did you feel like he was coming on too strong? And she said yes. She cleared that up, said, I'm a Latina, I'm a Dominicana, I love a man who come on strong. So she didn't see that as an insult. She thought it was a compliment. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like yes. But she does have a little bit of a language barrier, we can see. But at the end of the day, the girl here has been in Jersey for a while. She went to high school here, you know. But maybe she just took it the wrong way. She said she loved how Jeremiah treated her. She actually talked about her process from being with Jeremiah to 3 days and comparing it to Brian being in the villa for 3 days and being in Casa for 3 days, and how she said by the time they left Casa, her and Brian wasn't even speaking. She said, like, it fizzled so fast because she was comparing it to her connection that she had with Jeremiah, which was such a beautiful spark. It kind of ruined her Love Island experience. She also talked about how she got on Love Island and pushed her way. She graduated. 2 days later, she was on a flight because originally she was going to be in that first batch fly out to Fiji, but she had to graduate. And she said, my parents were going to kill me if I didn't graduate. So I basically begged them to let me to graduate. And then right after she graduated, they called her, said, you need to be down in Fiji in 2 days. So she flew on a plane. She stayed in a villa for 2 weeks. And then they basically had her trying on Meg Thee Stallion bathing suit. She said, hold on, clock it. She thought maybe she was going to be there, but not, maybe it was just like a quick sponsorship or something. But she knew Meg was involved in some way, but she had no idea Meg was going to be the one to introduce her into the villa. And she's like, I was the perfect bombshell for it. She loved her introduction. She's like, I'm taking your man. She laughed about not being able to take nobody man. So she has a great sense of humor, and it was a really, to me, all a round of applause of an interview. And to me, it was a all around good, great interview. 10 out of 10 Speedy. He should do the reunion, if you ask me, because he already has experience interviewing. He knows what he's talking about, and he just is a fan of Love Island. He loved this season, so it was really exciting to see him ask all the right questions. All the questions I think we Love Island OGs, Love Island lovers would have asked. He asked her the hard-hitting questions. He did it in such a, to me, a kind-hearted way, because you can ask questions and be messy or vindictive, but he asked these questions in such a professional manner that it made the interview so pleasant. Coco popped up and said hello. She's made friends with Coco, and also Daniela, who was in the villa with her. Some of the Casa girls popped in and helped her set up her live stream. So she's doing great. She's being flued out already, apparently, and there are some rappers in her comments. And he did ask, he said, is Drake in your comments? And she kind of said, mum's the word. She's not telling us any of her business, guys, but we will see who she pops out with. They did mention that she popped out recently with a rapper, but apparently that rapper, she knew him 2.5 years ago. They took that picture about a year ago when she saw him for a quick, brief second. She said she talked to him for a second, but that picture is an old picture. So she addressed that rumor that she was dating a rapper already. But she said, no, she is not dating a rapper, but there are some people in her DMs, which, you know, as she should, because she's taking your man. Again, she also talked about Pepe's rejection. I guess that's the last interesting thing that she talked about, really, which was really funny. And she just said she just shook it up to, she got to respect to, what's the saying? Can't hate the player, hate the game. She just chalked it up to she respects his opinion and she respects his point of view, and she can't really hate on it. But she said, she did say she hadn't had any rejection since she was in middle school, so it was a little bit out of her comfort zone, but she said she took it on the chin like a G. I think she did. The whole interview she took on the chin like a G, and I enjoyed myself. So if you guys are interested in that, I watched it on YouTube, and you should also subscribe to me on YouTube, same channel, Give This Girl a Mic, and go watch Speedy's interview with Andreina. It was really good. I recommend it. 10 out of 10. So if you guys haven't already done it, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content and want more. Take care.